In the last lesson, we learned what ERP is and saw how it serves as the backbone of companies like Pepsi. Now, let's turn our attention to SAP, the company whose ERP software has become synonymous with integrating business operations. Understanding SAP's history will help you grasp why SAP ERP, often called ECC ERP Central Component, works the way it does today. SAP was founded in 1972 in Germany by 5 former IBM engineers with a vision to create software that integrates business processes and makes data available in real time. This real-time integrated approach was revolutionary at a time when most companies still processed data overnight in batches. Throughout the 1990s, many global companies standardized their operations on SAP R3, attracted by the promise of integrating all their data and processes. Huge corporations, from car makers to food and beverage giants, adopted SAP as their central platform. For instance, Coca-Cola and General Motors were among the firms running SAP R3 to unify their business processes. PepsiCo, seeing the benefits, also decided to join this wave. By the early 2000s, it chose SAP's ERP to replace a patchwork of older systems and unify its divisions. In fact, PepsiCo announced plans to standardize its global operations on SAP's business suite as a single integrated solution. That meant all of Pepsi's brands, from Frito-Lay snacks to Tropicana juices, would eventually be managed through one SAP ERP system, highlighting just how critical SAP had become to enterprise success. SAP ECC was introduced in 2004, and this is the version of SAP ERP that many companies still use today. Over the years, SAP ECC became a comprehensive suite covering virtually every business function: finance, sales, supply chain, human resources, manufacturing, and more, all in one system. By journeying through SAP's evolution from R2 mainframe roots to R3 client-server revolution to ECC modern integrated suite, we can appreciate how SAP ERP earned its place as the digital backbone of global businesses. Each phase of SAP's history added new capabilities and lessons learned, which together explain why SAP ERP ECC is so robust and widely adopted today. Now, let's dive deeper into this history to see how each milestone shaped the SAP ERP software that many companies rely on. Today, SAP is a giant in the business software world. Its ERP software runs the core processes of many large companies. About 85% of Fortune 500 companies rely on SAP for their operations. How did SAP become so influential? Let's explore SAP journey from a small startup to a global powerhouse. SAP's story begins in 1972 in Germany. 5 former IBM engineers, including Hasso Plattner and colleagues, founded a tiny company which was later named to Systemanwendungen und Produkte in der Datenverarbeitung, or SAP for short. In a small office, they set out to develop business software, not knowing how big it would become. SAP's first product was a financial accounting system running on mainframe computers using punch cards known as SAP R1. It processed data in real time. Any information entered became immediately available to all parts of the system, a revolutionary idea for that era. In 1979, SAP released SAP R2, an improved mainframe system that could handle more business areas and larger companies. Throughout the 1980s, SAP rapidly gained clients in various industries. By 1988, SAP had grown so much it went public on the stock market, signaling its rise as a major player in enterprise software. The early 1990s brought a huge breakthrough, SAP R3. Unveiled in 1991, SAP R3 ran on new client-server networks and had a user-friendly graphical interface. This made the software more accessible and powerful. Companies around the world quickly began adopting SAP R3 to run their core operations. In the 2000s, SAP continued to evolve. In 2003, the product name SAP R3 was rebranded to SAP ERP to highlight its focus on enterprise resource planning. SAP also expanded into new areas like customer relationship management and business analytics. During this period, SAP customer base kept growing globally, and the software became a cornerstone for businesses in nearly every industry. A major leap came in 2015 when SAP introduced SAP S/4HANA, the next generation of its business suite. S/4HANA is built on SAP's powerful in-memory HANA database, allowing much faster data processing. It also features a simpler, modern user interface with SAP Fiori apps and options to run in the cloud, reflecting modern IT trends. SAP S/4HANA set the stage for businesses to tackle big data and real-time analytics with ease. Today, SAP is fully in the digital era. SAP S/4HANA helps companies handle emerging challenges like big data, the Internet of Things, and mobile connectivity. SAP offers cloud deployments and continuous updates to keep up with innovation. After decades, SAP remains at the forefront of enterprise technology, enabling businesses to adapt quickly to digital transformation while maintaining the integrated processes it's known for. SAP's journey from a small German startup to the world's largest ERP provider underscores its significance. Today, hundreds of thousands of companies use SAP ERP to run their businesses. SAP has truly become the backbone of global business operations, and it continues to evolve with the times, ensuring that enterprises big and small can plan and manage their resources effectively. Now that we've traveled through SAP's history, from its humble mainframe beginnings to the powerhouse SAP ECC system, you should have a deeper appreciation of how SAP ERP became what it is today. This journey wasn't just a trip down memory lane. It shows why SAP ERP ECC still matters today and remains deeply relevant. SAP ECC may have first been released in the mid-2000s, but it is still the most widely used SAP ERP system in the world today. Companies continue to depend on it for their mission-critical operations. In fact, large organizations are still running their day-to-day business on SAP ERP ECC right now, from processing billions in sales and managing global supply chains to handling payroll for thousands of employees. That's because SAP ECC has proven to be reliable and capable, supporting everything from finance and inventory to production and delivery in a single unified platform. For example, when a Pepsi plant makes a batch of soda, an SAP transaction is recording the production. When a distributor orders more stock, SAP is tracking that order through to fulfillment. This software is truly the operational backbone supporting such enterprises. Understanding SAP's legacy helps you understand the system itself. The features you see in SAP ERP today, things like integrated modules for every department, a centralized database, and real-time data updates, didn't appear overnight. They evolved through decades of innovation and real-world testing. SAP's early decision to integrate processes in one system way back with R2 is exactly why today Pepsi's finance team and supply chain team can share the same data seamlessly. The success of R3 in the 90s, with its modular design, set the stage for ECC's extensive functionality that can cover an entire global business. In other words, the way SAP ERP operates now is directly shaped by its history. Knowing that history makes it easier to appreciate the why behind how things work in ECC, why the software is structured into modules, why it emphasizes integration, and why it's so stable and trusted. As we wrap up this history lesson, remember that SAP ERP ECC is not old news. It's a living legacy that continues to run the core of many businesses worldwide. Leading companies continuing reliance on SAP ERP is a perfect example of how a system born from 50 years of evolution still drives modern enterprise success. Now, with this context in mind, you're better prepared to explore the SAP ERP system itself. In the next few lessons, we'll take a closer look at SAP ERP ECC and how it works to support a company like Pepsi day in and day out. By connecting the dots from SAP's past to its present, you'll be able to see clearly how all the pieces fit together. Get ready to discover how the SAP ERP software actually operates and brings all of Pepsi's business processes together. That's coming up in next few lessons.